And whether you're sitting down or you're laying, just take a nice deep breath and just for a moment observe that breath. Take time to feel and to notice the noise around you and inside as you take the opportunity to focus towards our breath. Start to relax more. Feel your body become heavy here as you root and lengthen. Even if you are sitting at this point, you're going to still feel the wide and far corners of your shoulders melting into your mat. You're going to feel the far corners of your hips melting down, whether that melts down through the sitting bones, grounding you, or whether, again, you're on your back and you're feeling that widening. Feel the shoulders relaxed away from your ears. And again, don't complicate it. Just find your breath for a moment. Add a little movement. So wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And if you choose to sit, bring yourself gently down and meeting us here on your mat, on your back. For those of you that are already here, take your time and bring your feet up, bringing your knees together, and just feel that dropping even more of the lumbar. Again, as we all meet into our dovetail, feet wide, knees together, we keep our shoulders down onto the ground. Let's bring one knee to the chest. As you give it a little bit of a draw in, send the other leg out. Don't worry if it's not fully straight, just send it away from you. And then with the knee you're holding, add a little sway side to side. So make sure you're not just rolling on your back side to side. Make sure your leg is actually swaying. So you can feel this movement inside your hip. Now we're holding on to that leg with the same hand. So that way then we can drop that leg out to the side. And then with it being heavy, we don't, again, want to lose the opposite hip. But we're going to add just a little bit of a tuck and a little bit of a drop. So just kind of exploring now the outer edge of our hip. Now, and the next time that it goes away from you, use your arm and help to bring it up to the ceiling. And then again, keeping your hips mounted onto the ground, just move your leg in as big of a circle as you feel comfortable. Now let go so that you can get your knee around even further. Maybe not so much pressure on our shoulder. We're going to go the other way. So again, tuck the knee, circle it around, pressing lightly down with the belly, just exploring that into the hip. Now the next time the knee comes to the chest, grab a hold of it with your opposite hand. Bring your other arm straight out from your shoulder. Then as you're ready, just let that leg come across the body, encouraging that hip to lift and rotate up with your knee. And then bring that leg down again, that hip down rather. Then bring that leg across, letting that hip lift. Keep your shoulders nice and grounded, almost adding a little reach out of that arm that's on the mat here. One more time, with your opposite hand on that knee, you're going to bring the knee across the body, lifting the hip. Then come back to your center and bring that foot down onto your mat. The other knee tucks in. Bring both arms in, maybe even tuck up your chin this time. Just create a little more of a grounding through your back. Of course, when you're ready, lower the shoulders. Make sure you widen again. And then we sway the knee. Not the body, the leg. We want to feel the leg moving. deliberately rooting with that opposite hip. Continue even as you drop your knee away, nice and heavy off to the side. And then just a little tuck towards the armpit, and then drop out. Up towards that armpit, drop it out. Nice heavy leg there. The next time it comes up, use your hands. Circle it around. Focus a little on your breath. Now, let go. Let the leg go on its own. When you're ready, go the other way. Nice and controlled. Doesn't have to be anything more than what connects you to your feeling, to the energy there. Now, the next time it comes to the chest, bring your opposite hand onto your knee. The other arm just reaches out straight out from your shoulder out to the side. This way we can keep the shoulders on our mat as we then bring our knee across the body, letting that opposite that hip come up and come across with our knee. But let's go back again. Let that hip push down on the mat, and then exhale, the leg comes across, the hip lifts, nice rotation. But keeping the opposite shoulder on the mat, and we can feel how it creates a bit of a stretch there all the way up the chest. Back to your center when you're ready. Release that foot down. Bring the other foot back up to match and just lengthen those hips. Maybe drawing the feet about as wide as the mat. Let the lower back melt in. Deep breath here. From there, we'll add that nice movement of windshield wipers as we drop the knees side to side. Again, just observing how is the back here. Bring the knees up, then bring your feet together. Then from there, we'll guide our knees out nice and slow away from each other as the soles of the feet came together. Now, don't feel you have to pull your heels up any closer to your hip. Maybe you're grabbing your blocks or your pillows there to support at those knees. Whatever is going to allow you to relax, especially your glute muscles, so your bum cheeks. Can you feel them release? Feel how gravity is working for you, maybe a little too much. So again, support. Now let's bring those shoulders under the back. So nice little tuck, kind of widening at our chest. I want you to keep that sensation at your chest. Just bring your arms straight up to the ceiling. So make sure you haven't reached yet. Rather, you're almost still trying to push down the far corners of your shoulders with a nice opening. It's always good to move with our breath. So let's inhale, maybe even widening a little more in our heart. And then as you exhale, reach your arms up. And you're going to almost feel like your chest hollows down into the center. Then bring the shoulders down, wide, and then again, straight up. Straight from the shoulder blades all the way to the middle fingers. Relax down. Now again, tuck your shoulders under your back. Don't let them crowd to your earlobes. When you're ready, we're just going to do the same thing, but one arm at a time. So we're going to reach out with one arm, almost like we're going to grab a rope. And then bring that shoulder wide, other side. Feel that come all the way out of your back, up to your fingers. Let's try it again. We're going to feel how this guides down into this bounce ankle as well. Go back to your center, wide at your shoulders, remember? Then from here, with our palms facing each other, push your belly down into your back a little bit, so feel a little flattening, and then nice and slow. Reach with your arms as you extend back. Keep those palms facing each other. And then draw up. Maybe down a little bit to kind of tuck your shoulders. Please don't hurt the body here. If your body starts to feel discomfort, you pause, lengthening still, but maybe not continuing to push into it. Again, push the belly down, bring the arms up, but this time we're going to bring them all the way down to our side. Let the shoulders tuck, let them relax. Of course, a nice breath just to recenter us. Bringing the arms together. So let's lace those fingers. We're going to bring them underneath the head. With your elbows pointing to your ceiling, let's bring the chin towards the chest. Try to feel your shoulders stay down here. Now, very slow, just turn the cheek. Other side, just kind of turning off to the side, checking it out. Little tuck of the chin towards the chest. Let's go again. Watch your reaction. When you're ready, melt back to the center. So we'll lower the head and we'll even lower those elbows out for a moment and breathe here. Let's gently guide the arms around. Be nice and kind with that. After those nice open shoulders, we'll keep them that way. Help your knees up to the center. Guide your feet out. Heel toe. Open them up about as wide as your mat, allowing the knees to come together at the center. Nice, good breath. Maybe get a little hum going, a little buzz in the legs. And as you're ready, just sweep that right arm out to your side and roll over. And then with your inhale, come on up. This way we just come up with a nice, good opened up breath. We're going to go right away around into our table position. So keep bringing those legs around and come into that table place. So hands rooting down, especially at those fingerprints, those knees. Now remember, if you're on the hard floor, we're not on a nice cushy floor anymore. You can always roll your mat up, accordion it, and give your knees the extra cushion. For whatever reason, that might give you some extra comfort. That's perfect. So we have those fingerprints down, and remember those elbows, those eyes of the elbows I was talking about. We really want to make sure they're facing each other. That way when our shoulders are down, our belly can tuck, we can look forward. Waiting for the breath here as we lengthen just a little more. Then using your exhale to tuck in. So we're going to look towards the belly. And as if someone's got a cord, they're going to pull right from the middle of your back up towards the ceiling as you bring your tailbone in, your belly button in, then follow through. Look forward, lift up through the chin, lift up through those hips. Feel the shoulders down from the earlobe still. Let's flow with it again. Exhale. Add a little more tuck of your chin. Feel it bringing that energy off of the neck and off the crown of your head. Flow it through. Again, just a little more activation as we gently kind of push the chest down and round it again. Now, one more time as we tuck in, I want you to really pull that chin in just to create a little more of that length off the neck, the shoulders. Before we go one more time, up, drawing the shoulders down, pushing the ribs to the floor. Go back to your center. Feel everything, maybe a little movement. Of course, our breath. Now let's add those shoulders length. So when you're ready, you're going to take your left arm and reach it straight out from your shoulder beside you. With your belly button tucked into the body, let's lift that arm up towards the ceiling. So take a look. Now bring that hand down You're going to go under the body and land onto that shoulder and to the side of the head. And sometimes the floor is really far away. So you could scoot a pillow and then put your shoulder on the pillow and your head on a pillow or your block support. Just taking the opportunity to get some support here. So now I want you to look up towards the sky, the ceiling. Maybe pushing just a little more with that right arm to encourage your chest to open. If you're feeling your back here, I want you to make sure your weight is equal in your knees. Don't let your bum drop off to the side. Now let's see, can we bring that right hand up towards the sky and then down onto our low back, our hip area? Reach up a little bit with that elbow, lengthen up from that shoulder. And then, of course, bring the arm down for support. Let that inhale bring you back up into your table. Add a little bit of movement. A little rotation for the spine, but you can really feel how it brought that shoulder blade away from the center line. So let's equal that out. We're grounded, hands and feet. The belly's tucked up. That way, as we bring our right arm out, we again keep the weight as equal as we can as we rise up a little stretch. And then an exhale to tuck onto that shoulder, onto the side of the head. Become heavy. Yes, feel the pressure on that shoulder as it draws the blade away from the center. The breath. Maybe now a little press with that arm just to open the chest up to the side. Maybe even taking the left arm to the sky. Let it rest onto the hips. Open up again, a little more through the shoulders here. And again, root that hand down, nice and gentle. Guide yourself back to your table. And just be kind. What do you feel here? What do we notice? So we're going to relax that a little bit. Curl your toes and then just push your hips up on top of those knees. Roll the shoulders back. And then from here, when you're ready, we're going to bring ourselves forward. So if you're like me, you have according to your mat, you're going to open it up, slide it forward, and then we're all going to shift forward and down onto our belly. Squeeze your elbows in and lower down onto the belly. Bring your hands like a sandwich under your forehead, and then just shake your hips a little or sway your hips a little side to side. Feel your legs getting a little longer, maybe even lifting and reaching them out a little longer. Relax your shoulders. Take an opportunity here to find some settling. And now we're going to open up from there. So bringing that right arm straight out from your shoulder. Once again, nice and long. Tuck your left hand under the shoulder. So now from here, we're going to look to our left. And when you're ready, we're going to start to push to look towards the ceiling. Lift up your left foot. See about finding that mat behind you just to give yourself the support. Again, looking up. Your left hand might stay where it is, or maybe like we did before, we could go up and then back to our hips again. As you look towards your mat, bring your left arm around, go back onto the belly there, and then just slide that right arm down by your hip. And just take a deep breath, maybe turn onto one of your cheeks. Draw the head, look down at your mat as you straighten that left arm out from the shoulder. Now make sure that the shoulder is all the way down. So the whole arm, all the way from the finger to that shoulder round is on the floor. With your right hand slid in, we're going to push to look up as we roll over. See if that right foot will come down onto the mat behind you there, just so you don't keep going. Reaching out of your head a little bit. Let's bring that right arm up.
Sometimes you need to keep it on the mat. Please do what feels good. Maybe the arm drops back. A big stretch. Observe. And once again, try not to rush it. Roll back to your center again. Let that arm slide down beside you and turn to the other cheek. And once again, as we draw back to that center, take a look forward, slide the arms so that they're both back by our hips. Once you're ready, lower the chin back down onto the mat and bring your hands up onto your back. Whether you bring your palms together or whether the palms stay facing the ceiling, whichever. So when you have found the one for you, bring your belly up into your body and then just start to lengthen the arms back and encouraging the chest up and lower down. Let the arms release. And then tuck them underneath your shoulders. Check. Squeeze those elbows in. So, if you looked, you wouldn't even be able to see your elbows. This way, we're going to use the powerhouse of our core. So pull your belly in and a nice push of the ground away. Now, as you get back there, we're going to bring our toes under, keeping our hands where they are, just maybe shoulder width apart, a little more correction. Then from here, lift up those hips, pushing those heels down towards the ground. Let's add some movement today. Up and down with those heels, pushing down and opening the legs. Push a little more with your pointer finger knuckle. Press down with both of the heels now at the same time. Keep those knees nice and soft. Reach. Then from here, bend the knees to look forward towards your hands and then start to walk yourself up, taking all the time you'd like as you come into your fold. So your feet are under your hips. Exhale, melting it down. Feel a little lift of those hips. And then just gently shake your head out no. Encourage the neck and the shoulders to relax a little heavier. Bring your hands onto your knees. Inhale as we come up halfway. So just kind of filling up into the body a little bit, creating some energy there as we ground again. Heels, right? Weights there. Bend into the knees and inhale. Let's reach up to the sky. Tall. Bring your hands to your heart. And then down to your side. Add a little movement of the shoulders back. A little sway of your weight even side to side. Loosen up a touch. So now from there, we'll again reset our feet straight underneath our hips. So I'm just going to turn here. And as you do, spread your toes. Get good ground onto the mat. Because the more we root, the bigger we'll be able to rise. So with this grounding into the mat, we're going to bring our hands to our hips, push your hips forward and bring your belly in a little more. Then from here, we're going to lift that left heel up off the mat and pull that belly button into the body. When you're ready, we're going to lift that knee up off the mat and then reach for it with your hands. Give it a little squeeze. We're going to go into tree. So open your hand, your knee out to the side, and then bring your foot down. Whether you're above or below your knee, try not to go on the side of it. If you can, go below it. Now again, push your hips forward. So squeeze into your tush. With a nice breath, bring your arms out to your side. Trees are perfectly still. We're not meant to be either. So we're going to take our left hand and we're going to put it behind our back. We're going to bring it over to the right side as much as we can. Now, see if you can't grab your bicep. Bring your right arm down to grab your bicep. Just bring that hand forward like a robot. Deep breath. Rise up again, straight up from the crown of your head. Breathe. Wiggles are good. and then release. Let the arms come all the way out, and then let that go. Knee comes in, ground down, roll the shoulders, shift the weight, root into it. And then rooting even more back into those feet. Notice how you feel as you grow from this center. So grounding in, belly tucked, grab into those hips, nice and slow. Feel that right heel up. Notice, do you always shift to the outside of your supported foot? Can we try pulling back inside? We're here to connect and explore. So don't worry about that perfection. That's just all what we're thinking. Bring your hands up. Hold into that knee. A little wiggles are good. Let's open up. Now remember, push your hips forward and root your foot above or below the knee. You decide today as you again squeeze. Reach your knee. It's a hip opener. It's a beautiful stretch there. Reach out. Reach. And then root. So that right arm goes back, comes over towards the left, and then we grab the bicep. Maybe bring that arm forward. You see about dropping those shoulders downward. Hips are coming out. We're wiggling a little because we're okay with the movement. Stretch it out to the side and root. Bring your knee in, ground it, and let it go. Shoulders back, root it out, and then of course bringing that awareness back down into our feet. We're going to do that vinyasa flow just to get a little release. So let's start nice and tall. Relax the shoulders. Push your hips lightly forward. With a nice good inhale, stretching up to the sky. Use that exhale, melt it down. Make sure that head drops. Just a little shake out. No. With your inhale, belly goes up just like the body as we come halfway. Squeeze up those shoulders again. And exhale, lower down. Once your hands are on the ground, walking back. Now remember, we want to push out of our heels so we can feel our legs get strong in our planks. From there, lower those knees down, squeeze those elbows in and root. Flatten your feet as you push your chest up. Roll your shoulders back. Continue to push your chest up. Nice and slow, squeezing your elbows in, lower down. Just working on those arms a little bit, pushing up. Let's go back. Knees go wide as toes kiss. Sit back, melting the head down into the mat. Nice child's pose for a moment. Just take a breath, noticing here and how you're feeling. That flow we just did is a great way of really moving our energy. And some days we have so much of it, it needs somewhere to go. And other days we're a little more relaxed. So if you're choosing to stay melting in your child's pose, please just keep breathing. If you're interested, let's do another flow. So please choose for you, whether you're staying in your child's pose or you're coming back to your downward dog. We'll pause for a breath. If you're flowing, you're shifting forward. Heels are pushing just as much as your head came through. You exhale, squeeze the elbows, rooting, shifting through upward dog. Make sure those thighs are squeezing and shifting back into our downward dog again, feeling that grounding through those legs, those arms, the belly rising into the body. Maybe you wish you would have joined. Maybe join this round. Maybe you wish you didn't join. Go back to your child's pose. You decide for you. Inner thighs, squeeze, elbows do the same. Chaturanga. Flatten to the feet. Squeeze your thighs, lift your heart. Squeeze your shoulders. Pressing it back. Exploring the slowness of the move and the challenge that comes from it. Now this time we will all come into the child's pose. Once again, just meeting there for a moment, grounding down. As our wrists can take quite a bit of pressure there, never be hesitant to give them a little love, a little massage out, a little tuck in and squeezing away. From here, turn your palms open and continue to remain heavy. And as you are good, just nice, a deep breath, maybe just a little press forward towards the elbows. And when you're ready, push your feet out to the side, scoot it back. From there, we'll bring our legs around forward. I'm gonna do one of my favorite ways of really working my back. But that being said, we don't need to go any more than what feels good. So remember, even though as we're going and we're exploring through the body here, we never want to do anything beyond our own limits. So we're going to lower down, we're going to come into a nice easy twist. So once you feel comfortable, lower down onto your back. And from here, we'll bring one knee at a time towards the chest. Maybe a little squeeze, a little rock, whatever helps you kind of connect with the flat on your mat. So we're going to explore. Let's take a nice good inhale as we bring our arms out wide and our feet down onto our mat again. Bringing your knees together, your feet together. Let's all drop our knees to the right. Exhale, drop your knees over to the right. Now for me, this is enough of a rotation. It's a perfect amount of a length for my back. But if you're thinking you want a little more, just tuck your knees a little closer towards that arm. And you'll of course feel how it created more of that lift of your hip and a little more rotation for your back. Now from here, this is the best part. Bring your left arm up to the ceiling and now go on your right shoulder so your palms come together. Now, once your palms are together, I want your top arm to go longer than the bottom. So reach with that left arm and feel how that shoulder comes all the way to that middle finger. Now keep reaching as you go back up to the ceiling. And then exhale, bring that left arm back down. Make sure your right arm stays where it is. Yes, and we're right where we began. Easy twist. So you get it. We go over, palms together. Exhale, make that left arm longer than the right. Feel it come from your shoulder blade to your fingers. Keep reaching as you go up. And then exhale, bring that arm down and feel how the hips and the shoulders ground. One more like that. Up, palm to palm. Exhale, make that left arm longer. Inhale, up. And exhale, go back to that twist. And deep breath here. And once again, look towards the ceiling. Gently guide your knees back up. Whether they come up for a hug to the chest or the feet to your mat, just take a moment. Maybe do a little bit of both of those ways of relaxing. Breathe. Maybe even let those arms come in for a moment. Feel the shoulders drop under the back. Feel nice and wide onto your mat again. Walking until our feet and our knees together. Inhale, sweep your arms out to your T. As you exhale, the legs now going to our left.
Whether you tuck your knees up a little closer, whether you keep them grounded where they were, you don't worry, just root, relax, feel the shoulders trying to create that grounding. And then the best part, right arm up, roll onto that left shoulder, make that right arm longer, inhale up, and exhale. Take all the time you can. When you're ready again, you go over. The top arm is longer than the bottom arm. And then up. And up. 3 times the charm. Over. You can feel yourself working through something. Go again. Or relax. No rush. When you're ready, look to the ceiling. Bring your knees back. Notice what you're feeling. Observe. We want to be calm so that way then the body will take this on and be more settled longer. We may not like to be stiff, but if we're used to it, the body sometimes just goes back there. It's familiar. If you are hugging your knees very gently, 1 foot at a time, down onto your mat again, maybe just a touch of a movement to feel the lower back here. We're going to come into that nice chest and shoulder opener. So grabbing your block, maybe a pillow, maybe both, because it'll be nice to have that there. If you don't really have anything, we can still do without. So if you have your block, you'll lay it down on your mat on the lowest setting, and it's going to go side to side. So that way, then when we're ready, we can lower down, and that block is going to be kind of at the tops of our shoulders, closer to our neck than it will be closer to our back. So you'll lower down. It's like you're trying to get your shoulder blades, again, across that block. So that way, when you're ready, you'll lower your head. Maybe your second block goes under your head, or your head flops back. Maybe a little opening at the neck, the chest. Bring those arms out wide to the side. Shoulders relaxed. Bring your legs out nice and straight. If you are feeling a pinch in your back, try again moving the block higher up towards your neck. See how that reacts. And then, of course, all the breath through, opening up from that heart center. Notice the chatter in the mind. Take another breath. Don't believe everything you think. Let the words come and go. Nice, good. Exaggerated inhale. Let your arms slowly guide down a little towards the hips, and then just guide your feet up to your mat. There's no graceful way here, unfortunately, so you're just gonna simply choose the side and you kind of lift the block and up. Then just take a look back so you can push your block out to the side. And we're just gonna take another moment to roll down onto the back here. Once you're onto the back, lengthen, of course, and then one knee at a time towards our chest. Don't necessarily squeeze, just simply let the heaviness of your legs ground your back a little bit. From there, take your right arm to your ear and roll yourself onto your side. I'm going to pause here for a couple of breaths again. So just one more time, relax. And then really slow. Just push yourself up away from the ground, coming into your seat. Don't worry about how you sit. Just find yourself onto the mat. Open up your heart a little bit. Relax the shoulders back. Observe. Stretch those arms forward and allow it to lift your heart just a little bit from there. Open up those palms to the sky. Slide your hands to press the palms onto your knees. And remember, don't ever let yourself be convinced that a bad day is actually a bad life. Bring your hands into your heart. Thank you for sharing your energy with me today. Namaste.